Look at this landscape. This is a 512-acre stretch of the Uinta Basin in northeastern Utah. From the highway, it is entirely unremarkable: endless sagebrush, dry earth, and distant mountains. Yet for 30 years, this specific patch of dirt has generated a continuous, heavily documented stream of bizarre physical anomalies. Long before the modern era, the land carried a reputation tied to skinwalker legends. This is a concept rooted in specific southwestern indigenous traditions, describing malevolent beings capable of animal transformation. While popular media has heavily sensationalized those traditions, the modern history of the ranch relies on something else entirely. That modern history begins in 1994. Terry and Gwen Sherman bought the property with a straightforward, pragmatic plan: raise cattle and live a quiet rural life. That quiet life lasted a matter of days. The daily routine of running a homestead collided almost immediately with events the family could neither stop nor explain. The Shermans' first jarring encounter involved a massive wolf-like creature approaching the family. Unlike a wild, skittish predator, the animal moved toward them with a slow, deliberate calmness. Soon, the encounters escalated into tangible property loss. The family began finding their cattle dead overnight. These were not typical predator kills. The injuries were executed with a clean, surgical precision that defied the messy reality of a coyote or cougar attack. Environmental anomalies followed the mutilations. Witnesses reported glowing orange doorways hovering in the open air, while mechanical and electronic equipment across the property routinely failed without cause. Dead livestock and burnt-out machinery cannot be dismissed as local tall tales or hallucinations. This physical evidence pushed the events beyond regional gossip and caught the attention of people with the resources to investigate it. As word spread, the property transitioned from a strange rural homestead into a testing ground for formal scientific inquiry. A privately funded research group known as NIDS, the National Institute for Discovery Science, moved in. They deployed trained scientists and investigators to live full-time on the property. They treated the ranch like a military target, wiring the property with thermal cameras, active radar, and electromagnetic monitors. This overlapping sensor network aimed to eliminate human error and capture objective data. Then, the investigation took a strange turn. The scientists collecting secondhand accounts began experiencing the events themselves. According to researchers Colm Kelleher and George Knapp, who had documented the effort, the NIDS team directly witnessed unexplained aerial phenomena and watched their own recording equipment shut down inexplicably. This created an intense methodological paradox. The researchers had an abundance of first-hand visual encounters, yet they consistently failed to capture definitive recorded data on their instruments. They hit a wall. Standard scientific observation requires a predictable, measurable subject. The phenomena on the ranch appeared to actively evade controlled measurement. Unable to apply standard scientific methodology to something that refused to be pinned down, the NIDS organization eventually shut down its ranch operations in 2004. Conventional cameras and radar had proven totally insufficient. The failure to capture the anomalies on tape didn't close the case. It caught the eye of an organization with a much higher tolerance for classified risk. The problem of the Utah ranch eventually traveled 2,000 miles east, straight into the fluorescent-lit corridors of Washington, D.C. In the mid-2000s, Defense Intelligence Agency analyst Dr. James Lakatsky, working with colleague Jay Stratton, had been quietly compiling reports of unexplained aerial intrusions near sensitive U.S. military facilities. Lakatsky reviewed the startling accounts coming out of the NIDS investigation. The details alarmed him enough that he traveled to Utah to inspect the property in person. During that site visit, Lakatsky experienced a localized anomaly. According to his own later accounts, that single first-hand encounter convinced him the events described by the ranchers and scientists were a physical reality. As a DIA analyst, his assessment carried heavy implications. He concluded the phenomena at the ranch constituted a potential national security concern, justifying the immediate involvement of the federal intelligence community. Moving from an analyst's assessment to a fully funded operation required immense political leverage. That leverage came from then Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. Reid secured quiet, crucial backing from Senators Ted Stevens and Daniel Inouye to navigate the labyrinth of federal defense budgets. Together, they manufactured a specific vehicle for the investigation, the Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Applications Program, or AAWSAP, officially established in 2007. They allocated $22 million of government funding to this classified endeavor. The primary research site for this heavily funded, Pentagon-backed national security program was that same 512-acre stretch of Utah scrubland. The United States government spent millions of dollars investigating the anomalies on a remote cattle ranch, locking whatever terrifying data they recorded behind closed doors. The Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Applications Program, or AWASAP, targeted a specific range of physical phenomena. When investigators arrived at Skinwalker Ranch, they didn't rely on anecdotes. They built a controlled environment, deploying real-time sensor arrays that included infrared imaging, electromagnetic monitoring equipment, and radiation detectors to capture the activity as it occurred. This meter represents the type of instrumentation that captured highly abnormal readings. According to FOIA-released files, the on-site team recorded sudden, extreme spikes in ionizing radiation. These bursts were strong enough to cause acute physiological reactions. Personnel stationed at the property reported experiencing sudden nausea and severe skin irritation immediately following the radiation spikes. The internal documentation proves the federal government was heavily invested in an environment that was actively causing measurable physical trauma to its operatives. To support this operation, the Department of Defense authorized roughly $22 million in funding, sustaining the program from 2007 until 2012. That massive federal expenditure occurred entirely in the dark. It took landmark reporting from mainstream journalists in 2017 to finally expose the operation's existence to the public. That reporting also confirmed the investigation survived the end of AWASAP. The work carried on through a more narrowly focused successor program called AATIP, overseen by former Pentagon official Luis Elizondo. These leaks anchored the bizarre events at the ranch within the institutional reality of the United States military apparatus. The 2017 disclosures forced a major transition. Skinwalker Ranch emerged from a highly classified black-budget project into a matter of undeniable federal record. A year before that public exposure, aerospace billionaire Robert Bigelow sold the property to Utah real estate investor Brandon Fugel. Fugel initiated a dual-track approach to the site. He continued the tradition of highly confidential private research while gradually opening specific aspects of the investigation to public scrutiny. By 2020, that ongoing scientific monitoring found a massive mainstream audience through the History Channel series The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, broadcasting the weekly findings to millions of viewers. While presented through the lens of commercial television, the modern operation relies on the same rigorous, semi-classified methodologies established during the government's tenure. The move to public media successfully normalized these events, taking a former Pentagon test site and broadcasting its anomalies to millions without providing the underlying answers. The narrative shifted again in 2023, when the Pentagon's newest Anomaly Resolution Office made an explicit public statement acknowledging the property. This timeline maps the direct bureaucratic evolution from AAWSAP to AATIP and finally to AARO. In an official briefing, AARO designated Skinwalker Ranch as a high-priority signature management test location. An active federal agency is on the record confirming its ongoing interest in this specific plot of land. As of 2026, multiple outlets covering the ranch are reporting that a federally connected science team has established a long-term field station on site. It is important to draw an evidentiary line here. Unlike the statements from AARO, this 2026 field station arrangement has not been officially confirmed by the Pentagon. It should be treated as a developing, credibly sourced report rather than settled fact. According to those reports, the team's objective is to monitor a stable, repeatable aerial anomaly anchored to a specific set of coordinates on the property. To test whether their own instruments were generating the interference, the researchers instituted an extreme isolation methodology. They executed a total electronic power down of the entire facility for 72 hours. During the blackout, independent crews stationed off the ranch observed the anomaly continuing unabated, and researchers on site continued to report acute physical symptoms. The tighter the investigators isolate the variables, the more aggressively the phenomenon refuses to conform to known physics. The investigation of Skinwalker Ranch is defined by its extensive, documented paper trail. Skeptics rightly point out that decades of intense study still have not produced a single piece of independent, repeatable, and entirely public scientific evidence. Yet, highly trained military analysts and scientists continue to operate on the property, consistently recording data that their standard instrumentation simply cannot explain. The definitive answers remain out of reach. Insiders report that a massive data warehouse containing the raw logs from the original AWASOP investigation remains fully classified to this day. After almost 20 years and tens of millions of dollars in federal contracts, the United States government remains unable to close the file on Skinwalker Ranch.